Hello everyone, I wanted to show you this bow bleed build. It's a really cheap build and easy to start. I remember this was my
One
first
of my
Evasion
captors felt
build
no emotion.
and it got so big, so good, and I wanted to try it again.
Feels intense, unstoppable agony.
So I am making a test on a standard but with the Ritual League update to see the change on Deadeye ascendancy. And using part of building, I realized this wasn't a nerf. Has a little buff, but nothing important. So I'm testing with this Minotaur map. Everything is okay, everything is really good. I don't see any problem at all with this build. This is a really strong build and fast. I didn't love it at first, but I wasn't sure about what to do with this build and it was like an experiment. I just wanted to do a cheap league starter. I love the save currency and I feel this is an unfinished build, but you can push more and more with a big investment. I think I spent like 3 exals at first and then like 4 exals more for awakened gems, but wasn't necessary, so you can push further. Okay, this is the time of truth. Let's test this. I'm running a low life build, so he can kill me easily. The damage is good and snaring arrow is completely necessary.
To a crucible
This is it.
that
It's
stretches
easy.
the sanity of the mind.
Now let's see the build. Ascendancy first. Ricochet is really important for change. Far shot it's really not necessary. I took it because I love it, but it's not necessary. Gathering winds for tailwind, so you don't need it in your boots. Rupture is new. You gain more damage with this. It's really good. I recommend it. This is the only bleed node on Ascendancy, so you have to take it yes or yes. When I started, I just took every single damage over time on the tree. It's full meta, I don't do anything else, just grab anything that I think it was necessary. And obviously all bleeding nodes. And then I start to concentrate on life and everything that could help the build. It's a low life, I can invest more and have more life. Defenses, just evasion with dodge. That's really important in this kind of build. And everything else is just life. I took mana because I am reserving too much mana, so I need a space for attacks. Anything up here wasn't necessary. I think you can do more damage with jewels or cluster jewels, but I was just too lazy to figure it out. The most important on this build is the bow. Obviously, you need attacks, but this bow is more for movement. I love movement, I want to be fast. The most important here is the bleeding and the physical damage. So a Citadel bow will be better, but I just want to try something else. I bought this bow for 1 exile, 6 link with Elder Influence. 5 link was enough, but you need to improve that. And this Awakened gem wasn't necessary, I just added it at the end of the league. Puncture do really high damage. So combining it with the Snarling Arrow, you can do a high damage to bosses. I think Unbound Elements will be better than a Sweet Affliction because the duration of bleeding, and a lot of bleeding will use it. Hemophilia gives you a lot of bleeding damage and explosion on kill. This is really good for clearing, really important for the build. And this ring with vulnerability on hit is completely mandatory. These three items are the most important of the build. Anything else is just resistance, life, and defenses, but this is a low life build. I don't want to invest so much and make it cheaper and reduce extra damage from criticals. Also, we have dodge and elusive on boots that helps a lot with defenses. It will be better with bleeding to inflict deal damage faster. This armor was an accident. Trying to do a 5 link, I got a 6 links, but and use it just for to test an additional course. I wanted to test it since a while ago. You don't need 6 link. With a good bow and explosion, you can deal with large groups of monsters. It's important to have change, but since we have ricochet on the ascendances, we don't need the support gem. Also, this needs really more mana to attack, so it's complicated. I think this could be really better with Gladiator. They have more bleeding nodes, and in that case, you will need a chain, so you have to swap it. So you have to take care of that. And I started using War Banner, that helps a lot with physical damage, but since I reserved all mana, I can't use it anymore. The other items I just made with fossils. You just need, like here, physical damage that helps a lot in bleeding builds, and damage on bleeding with bleeding. Physical damage over time, that helps a lot on any build, and you need to take advantage of that. Even with the quiver, it's the same. Anything else is just defenses or speed. Life and resistance is distributed on the other items. Also, we need a lot of defenses, evasion in this case, and those items was crafted, so you can save a lot of currency with this. And for that, this is a cheap build. I don't spend too much. Mostly was the bow, and anything else was just experiment. I I used the another curse on chests just for combining vulnerability with despair. Despair also has damage over time, that helps a lot, especially with bosses. I use Pride and Malevolence to improve the damage, that give you a lot of damage over time, but reserve all your mana and you need to take care of that, and using Igniting or anything else that reduce mana reservation. I use Val Molten Shell for extra defenses, that's why I have this buff on Helmet. I'm using Val Grace for extra defenses that can help you in sticky situations, like a boss fight. Dash as a movement skill, combined with Phase Run, it helps a lot, and movement is some kind of defense, especially for evasion builds. And I love how you can run with
I'm not
this.
up
It's
to that
really
just yet.
fast. I also have Stone Golem for life regeneration, main for extra damage, Snaring Arrow with Ballista Totem. This is the most important to do damage because they maintain the monster on movement, and bleeding do more damage with movement. Also, a Snaring Arrow doesn't work with piercing, so you have to consider that. I learned that in the bad way. So this is everything, people, and you see, I don't have any special. Even the tree is so simple. We can improve more with jewels and even with Rislata coil, but it's expensive and this is a cheap build. I'm really happy with this build and now it's one of my favorite.